make your video, I need to get you out. I have a student coming at 4. So we're gonna go through this song that we worked on today, where we're capo 2 and doing a bunch of G stuff before we talk about the actual song. So we're in this 4-finger G chord, which is just a G, but a lot of people will call it G5 or whatever. I'm just gonna go to open just for illustrative purposes, and then really common to just scoot those 2 fingers down, which is some kind of C chord, and that's what's happening in our song. We're using that chord a bunch. And you could also try making like an E minor shape, and then just moving that down. So just pretty much the concept's just like mess around with these 2 fingers, playing common chords. Here I was just playing literally where they go in a G chord, literally where they go in a C chord, literally an E minor chord, and then I'm just moving that down towards the ground, which makes it a type of A chord. So there's a lot of songs with this, so you can kind of just whatever. If you want a G to C, try using these, which is even easier to do than big G to big C or big G to big C. So no real new concept or anything. Just there's these songs where we just pin these 2 fingers here and do stuff around them, where it's like kind of a lot of bass notes work. What do they sound like? Can't Find My Way Home. Songs, for example, or The Captain by What's Their Face. Anyway, so yeah, 1:30 in our actual song. We're capoing 2nd fret. Like this entire song, we're in either the right hand position. I'm on the 3 highest strings, thumb, 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 or I'm on the middle strings. Most of the time, we're in the first one. Most important thing you got to take away from this lesson, if you want to actually progress here, is doing the right hand starting position. Just taking however long it takes to get both hands squared away. And it's just imperative that you break this stuff into small sections and include the step where you just go over what you're going to be doing, especially for you personally, where there's this like, holy shit, there's going to be all this information reaction, when in reality it turns out that if you just look at it a couple notes at a time, nothing actually confusing or even difficult for you happens, aside from kind of like, oh wait, what am I doing, guessing moments. So we're playing like G, and like our index finger is just free to do stuff. 4-finger G, G5, and we were doing that a lot, going from the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So just like pause if you need to, and what am I talking about? Cool. So we're going. What happened first. Let me just stay in the cable here. And that brings us up to. So there we, so part 1 we just go. And then at this point that finger's going to stay there. We're going to pick our ring finger up. Which one's your ring finger? Wiggle it. What am I talking about? And we go, boo-dee-da-bum. So that's just me hitting notes from the chord. So it's like, first 2 notes, next 2, then we went. Okay, so just, go over that like it's a list of stuff, don't loop it, just, go over it until you feel like you can do it, and then try it in rhythm one little bit at a time. But anyway, this sounds like, so there we have our open 2nd string like we often do in G chords. So there we go. Then we switch to the C version of this, which is just I move to here, still expecting this finger to be doing this. So it's just like your middle finger, move down, bass note, move down. And we go, which is a lot what we have just done, almost identical. We went, now we're just going. Just picking through the chord. So that's easier than the previous one where we were doing this too. So cool, we just went. And then we went just picking through the chord. So there's our 2nd part. We've got not starting at the G, but just working on that by itself, having already gotten good at the G. That's easier than the first one, the G. So yeah, so far we got. Improvises a little bit the second time through, but you can just do that twice for the intro. It would sound fine. Then we get to the verse, which goes G, C, D, G, and then C, back to A minor, and then to D, C, and then to D. Okay, so all recognizable chords. Aside from that, I'm playing C, and then I change the bass note to that to push my way there. Yes, they are. Yeah. It's just 1, 4, 5, and then the A minor is the 2 chord. So absolutely, it's all 1, 4, 5, and then A minor we expect in this in the key of G type song. All right, so the verse, we're just doing the same shit we've been doing in the other song. Now written 2 notes at the same time, no big deal. That's identical to the first phrasing in the song, except we did that one. So thumb and So now we're switching to regular C, and we're switching our right hand position for the first time to the 4 middle strings, and we're going. So just running through the chord. So that was the highest and lowest note, and then just walking through it. So we were just went. And then the G part's really easy. It's just the lowest note in the chord, and then the highest. So back to the G, and we go. So this is the easiest thing we've done on G so far. And that, at the end, anticipates the next bit where we switch to C. Anyway, so that was. And then we get to section, get all kinds of good at that before you even try this. But it's all, and the reason is, this is also similar to what we've just been doing, changing now I'm playing A minor 7, that's not really a substantial curveball. The right hand's where there's actually interesting stuff happening here, playing a shape like that isn't actually gonna trip you out. Cool, so do remember me, that's where we're at, and then we go literally, which is exactly what we did the last time we played C. And then we do the same exact thing with this, my middle finger scooches up to that right there. That's what it is, Paulus. It's like. Anyway, that's what we do right there. And then we're switching to A minor 7. So it's like you do this, and then you change the bass note, and then that moves down 1 string towards the ground. That's what happens in this section. We're on C, this C thing, and then A minor 7. So you just get it down 1, just pause it, take forever to figure out what we're just doing. Cool, so we're going. So we have that pause thing, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 3 and 4. So we do like the identical thing on those last 2 chords. And then we do the same thing for C and D. So it's, if you could remember me, I would sleep today, or whatever. Anyway, so from the C. Brother. Yeah, this doesn't actually occur. Cool. So there we are. That's what we're doing. Work on it in sections. Absolutely, try to really have, this is what you're working on this week, is right hand starting position, actually just doing it, taking however long it takes, these moments of panic, for lack of a better word, actually only take a split second of, oh shit, what do I do? So then you just figure out, oh shit, what you're doing. It probably took 2 seconds, it took 5 seconds, no big deal. And including the step where you just do 1 good one and then pause rather than starting to loop it. Like we talked about, it's 2 totally different parts of your brain. And like we're seeing in this song and pretty much every song we ever play, riffs from earlier come up again, where if you learned it well the first time out, it won't, we've learned, a good 80% of what we need for the entire song in the first few changes. But I'll take a shot at the whole thing. And then that happens twice, and then we get to the verse. I should write, 4-chord version of the 4-chord, 2-chord, minor 2-chord, and then back to our 5-chord. So we're going 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, so 4 pretty much, minor 2, 5. So it's really standard structurally. There you go.
Alrighty.